Hi, it's Danny Pellegrino from Everything Iconic, and this episode is sponsored by State Farm. I wanted to share an iconic way you can save money. Just talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Who helps America go farther? Fly higher? Dream even bigger? People do. Since 1879, our people have been more than a source of energy. They've been a source of progress. Today, that same progress is helping deliver record U.S. energy production, fueling the workers, the makers, the boundary pushers, and risk takers who spark the breakthroughs that move America forward. Learn more about what our people do at chevron.com/USA 250.
Summer weekends are all about family, sunshine, and making memories together. Before everyone arrives, I stop by my local Total Wine & More to pick up a great bottle. Maybe a favorite we already love or something new to enjoy with dinner on the patio. Find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Curbside pickup and delivery available in most areas. Visit TotalWine.com to learn more. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Must be 21.
The Toy Story franchise has set a very high bar for animated family films, and I think that Toy Story 5, the new entry, it's jumping high, it's almost reaching that bar, but it's just not quite hanging on. This is the brand new film from Pixar. It features all of your favorite toys. They're all back again. But oh no, there's a brand new toy entering Bonnie's house. It's the Lilypad. It's a technology iPad. Bad things maybe will happen to the toys. They've got to fight for relevancy. Yeah, when I found out that that was the premise of Toy Story 5, I was not super excited for this one. Not because I think that iPads are good for kids. It's not at all what I'm saying. But I do think that this is about 8 years too late. I think when Toy Story 4 came out, the point of this movie was too late. I mean, it is more of a thing now. I think that there are more kids on iPads and it's probably a bad thing. But I do think that the Toy Story films really missed the boat to comment on that when they made the fourth one. So here we are with Toy Story 5, 7 years after the fourth movie. And I just went into it being like, what is this going to add? Because Toy Story 3 ended the franchise really well. Toy Story 4, I also love that movie, and I feel like it ended the franchise, again, really well. And so for me, we've now gotten 2 really good endings to Toy Story. I don't feel like we need more. And I went into Toy Story 5 being like, okay, show me what you got. And look, there's some things here that I think really do add to the series. This is a very Jessie-focused movie. She is the main character. She gets everything to do, and that hasn't happened since Toy Story 2. She's one of the more interesting characters, I feel like, in the Toy Story series. And so that was a really good thing. And I think her character journey is really good. Did we need it? Not necessarily, but I do think that Jessie has basically been written out of the series in the 3rd and 4th movie, so it was nice to have her be the focus, and it was nice to have her have an actual arc, very similar to what Woody had in Toy Story 4. But just like the 4th movie, there are problems when you focus on only one of the toys, and this movie has the same issues that the 4th one had, which is that most of the other characters don't have anything to do, and that's fine, but I feel like when a lot of the marketing is around Woody's back, it's like, okay, but this is Jessie's movie though, so what's he gonna do? And I don't feel like the movie ever does anything with him to show that he needs to be here. So that whole kind of Woody's back and he's maybe bald is just a marketing ploy, and I'm not a big fan of that. We have some new toys as well. Conan O'Brien being the big standout as Smarty Pants. Really fun character, really good voice performance as well. As with Craig Robinson, he's in this. I'm a big fan of Craig Robinson, and he's very funny. Got a couple really good lines. Perhaps the biggest new addition, though, is Greta Lee as Lilypad. Oh, the iPad. And I'll talk about the character of iPad later, but I think the voice performance was really good. Greta Lee is very good in the Spider-Verse movies. She's good in Past Lives, and she's very good here, and I think brings a really fun energy to the performance, especially when it feels like everyone else who's here has been here for many a decade, and so having new people come in is always fun. But yeah, I was really worried that the character of Lilypad, just the movie overall, would be iPads are bad, And thankfully, after the first half hour, which maybe, yes, is a little bit rough, the film did have some very unexpected nuance when it came to technology for children. Now, is it themes that we haven't seen before? Probably not. Does it add anything new to the conversation? No, but this is a kids movie, so maybe it will start making kids think about the topic, which is definitely a plus. I also feel like this movie doesn't really add anything to this Toy Story, I don't want to say saga, it's not a saga, but the Toy Story series. This film doesn't add much. Like, as I said, Toy Story 1, classic. 2, classic. 3, good ending. 4, another good ending. This one doesn't feel like an ending. This one just kind of feels like, well, we'll just keep going. And outside of some maybe character growth for a couple characters, Jessie, outside of that, this movie just doesn't really prove why it should exist. That sounds really harsh, but I don't know why we have I do know why we have another Toy Story. Disney have had a lot of flops, and it's not looking like Avengers Doomsday will make the money that they were hoping that it would. So, Toy Story 5 is a very easy way to bring in a bunch of cash. So that's why it exists. But from a story perspective, it doesn't add much. It doesn't feel like it's on the same level as the other 4 films. Again, Toy Story 4 felt like, at least for me, and others may think differently, but it felt like a goodbye. And so now we're back. And sure, we're back. I like these characters. I like this series. I'm happy to be back. But why are we back? The movie never really tells us why we're back, aside from being like, technology, am I right? The movie also doesn't really say goodbye again. Like, it's just a movie. It's just another movie. It's kind of like what Inside Out 2 felt like. It's just another movie. That's fine for a lot of Pixar's other franchises. I can kind of expect that, Incredibles 3 is not going to be as good as 2, which isn't going to be as good as 1. For a lot of the Pixar franchises, there are diminishing returns, but not for Toy Story. And so now that we're getting that for Toy Story, it's like, oh, okay, it's happening to this series as well. Now, I'm not saying this movie's bad. I do recommend it. I think that it's a fun time, but I also think that we didn't need it. I also think we need to start thinking about what we're going to do with these characters, because it's been a very long time since Toy Story 1 came out, and you can tell in the voice performance of a lot of these characters that it might be time to start doing other things. I think that the voice performances in this movie are still very good, but I do think that you can tell that it has been quite a few years since this series started. I don't think that we can have another one with the same cast without it being incredibly obvious. Robert De Niro in The Irishman playing a young guy, obvious. Like, it's starting to get to a point where I'm like, we're really just gonna keep doing these, aren't we? And I think the person you can notice it the most with is Tim Allen. Like, his performance as Buzz has, in the last 2 films, significantly dropped off in terms of how much he's in them, but also just his enthusiasm for them. It doesn't sound like he doesn't want to be there. It just kind of sounds like he's asleep. So I want to get your thoughts on that. If they did do another Toy Story, I don't think that they should recast anyone, but should we focus on new toys? Because I think that if we're going to keep this going, I think we need to. Okay, now this is a side tangent, but I don't get the timeline of these movies, and Toy Story 5 makes it even more questionable. If we're to believe that the first Toy Story movie takes place when it came out, so Andy's like 6, the year is 95. That means that Toy Story 3 takes place, he's like 17-ish, just about to go to college, which he does in 4. That would place that in 2005, which means that Bonnie is just about to start kindergarten in 2006, if that's the year after Toy Story 3. And now Bonnie is 8 in Toy Story 5, but there's modern day technology? Maybe that's why Toy Story 5 feels like it's too late, because it's literally set 10 years plus in the past. However, that doesn't make any sense. If you've seen Toy Story 5, you know that the technology in it is modern day. There are drones, for example. That's a new thing. I mean, that about 5 years ago, but it's still a new thing. It's not a 2010, if my maths is correct, thing, which is when this movie should be set. It's also a big plot point that Woody has aged, kinda, I guess. Everyone says he's an old man. And I mean, you can see from his bald spot, his stuffing in his tummy makes him look like he's got a beer gut. And also, Tom Hanks sounds older. But if it's only been 15 years, then how are old do toys age? But Jessie was made in the 50s, so what's going on there? Also Jessie and Buzz, but the age difference, she's from the 50s. He has to be. Not from then. Modern day, the 90s. I guess. He was a new toy in the first Toy Story. What is going on with the timeline of these films? That's all. I don't have an answer. I just wanted to ask a bunch of dumb questions. What do you think is the timeline of the Toy Story films? Does it make any sense? Am I overthinking it? Yes. The question is, I'm definitely overthinking it, and this doesn't matter. Toy Story 5 gets a Goodie? I can't give it an Oldie. On the scale of the Toy Story films, it's an Oldie, but as a movie overall, it's fine. Yeah, a Goodie. Why not?
Hi, it's Danny Pellegrino from Everything Iconic, and this episode is sponsored by State Farm. I wanted to share an iconic way you can save money. Just talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Do you keep hearing podcast ads, like this one, for example, but always wonder how you actually get involved with them for your own brand or organization? Well, it's easier than you think. We're Acast, and we give you the platform to do it all yourself. Browse thousands of popular podcasts, choose the shows that match your perfect audience, set your budget, and launch. And if you want a hand, our podcast specialists are there to help you launch with confidence. This is podcast advertising without barriers. Get started at acast.com/advertise.